what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it is rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Was Not Was, Spurs Chemo, Sleeping Warrior, Ranty Flat Earth, Jose, I'm Sorry I think it is, Earth Flatner, I think it is, Chocolate Sane, and Darwin. My apologies if I've got any of your names wrong. Happy to have you all. Good to see you.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, yes.
Yo.
Hello, flatties.
Hello. Well, so we get back onto flat earthy type subjects. I'm going to do a bit of housekeeping. So, gentlemen, any signs of curvature?
Oh.
No.
Not on the Earth.
Anybody?
No.
Oh.
Any signs of Earth-based axial rotation?
No.
No.
Does Powerpuff Girls count?
No.
No.
That's not Earth-based.
What about a
That's when I first started seeing the BS in that. They put pyramids on the poles in the cartoon of the Powerpuff Girls, and I'm like, well, that's weird.
Say that again. They put pyramids on the poles of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, it's an old memory of mine. I just always thought that was odd, but I'd see that their image of the Earth spinning on their cartoon Powerpuff Girls, they'd put a large pyramid on the North Pole and the South Pole when they're doing like a full view of it. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that?
Whoa.
No, nothing.
Cool.
I can really conflate that too, but it's just odd.
Fair enough.
Ooh,
Not the best proof
predictive
of axial
programming.
rotation. Definitely a new one, the Powerpuff Girls. Yes.
Powerpuff Girls is very old.
What about a self-perpetuating
Mid-90s.
molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed sphere Earth?
Nope.
No? Anybody?
Nope.
Anybody at all?
I haven't seen one of them, no.
No?
No.
Pressurized system next to a vacuum? Any signs of that?
Never.
Bill Miller?
Now we still have to do an
Ooh,
investigation. Who is that guy?
Anyone seen, what's that guy called? Oh, Gem Panda.
Yeah.
AWOL.
Is he A1?
Yeah. AWOL. Absent without leave. What about signs of the radius itself? Any signs of that, gentlemen? Anybody? Anybody at all?
Nope.
No, not without any presuppositions, anyway.
I thought we had a couple of Globers on the panel. I thought this would spark an immediate conversation.
That's a Glober that's trying to join the panel right now. The one that's trying to spam.
Really?
I'm out, guys. I'll see you later.
See you later.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. What was your name again? What was it?
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
right. Brilliant.
So
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
guys. I'm sorry. I'll see you later.
Take it easy. Well, I think that pretty much... Oh, no, gravity. Did it cover gravity? Gravity. Any signs of that, even if we've covered it?
Nah, no masses being attracted to other masses and no bending of space-time. Not only in your imagination.
Wow. Mark
Love to
Taylor.
see
Is that
what
the
that
real
looks
Mark
like
Taylor
now.
spamming your phone number?
Who, me? My number? Or
Yeah.
Anthony's?
Don't know. He's putting a
Probably.
phone number in the chat saying, call Ranty on this number.
Let's see. I know he
So what's
doesn't
that
have my
then?
telephone number, so it's probably... Ah, yes. There we go. This is just following on from the things that I was saying at the very end of the last debate, which was they collect data from everybody and they will freely display it for everybody to see. And again, it's not the first time that he's done it, so it's not like it isn't already out there. So yes, there he is again. Home phone number displayed for everybody to look at.
Your phone number?
Yes.
My home telephone number, yes.
What's he doing?
It's called data
Intimidation.
gathering, and then obviously sharing it with everybody in the hope that I will get midnight phone calls, 3 a.m. phone calls, which he has done, threats. That's why they give out my home address. It's so that they can intimidate me and try and stop me from the work that I'm doing, and they think it's a bit of fun.
What are you doing,
this
Mark
is-
Taylor? Just, typical Globehead behaviour. Rather than joining the panel and actually presenting... So we started the show with housekeeping, specific things that we would like addressing that are taught to children, part of the heliocentric indoctrination, and ultimately false. And we have asked for evidence of these things. The response from Mark Taylor is to publish one of the panel members' phone number.
Well, Mark Taylor is kind of a creep, isn't he?
Yeah, this is the type of
Yeah,
people
He
we deal
sent
with.
like
really wrong
sex
with you.
toys
Just to round that
people
out,
he
just for
liked.
the audience, ask yourself this. If it was the case that we lived on a spinning sphere flying through space, why would it be necessary when asked to provide evidence of that to dox one of the panel members? Rather than actually present the evidence of it, why would that be the case? And the answer I will give you. It's because the Earth is not a spinning sphere, and there is no evidence of it being a spinning sphere. The Earth is obviously and observably flat. These guys can't accept that because it destroys their paradigm, and nobody wants that. They're all stuck in cognitive dissonance, and when we point it out... Hello,
Hey,
Blue
Luke is
Marble.
back.
How old are you, Blue Marble?
I'm 14, and also I'm not the one who.
So yeah, so we're being sent children, rather than adults, to actually prove to the audience that we live on a spinning testicle. Hello, Mark Taylor too. Can you close your mic?
Yeah, turn off your shower, man.
Mark, what are you doing?
Yeah, dude.
Got a lot of static.
I
Dude.
think your brain is crashing.
With all the noise. There we go. Hello, Mark.
I don't see him in the panel.
Oh, has he been
No,
booted?
I removed him because I felt that it was one of them channels that was just there to snipe everybody.
Right, I don't know why I joined with a load of water flowing. That makes no sense either. Nonetheless, this is the kind of mentality we're joining. We're not being joined and challenged with actual evidence of living on a spinning sphere. We're being doxed, trolled, and ridiculed. That's the basic modus operandi of the Globeheads. That's what they're doing. Not presenting evidence of their religion, instead mocking, intimidating, and ridiculing. That's what they've got. That's their defence. That's their argument at the moment. And they come in when they want to defend somebody who has done this. Not to defend the sphere.
So when you address it and you call them out and you say, okay, there's 200 people watching, it's about time we revisited this and told people that, yes, we do get doxxed, we do get threatened, we do get telephone calls. You know, this isn't a one-off. This has happened dozens and dozens of times. Everybody on the panel, I assume, has already been through this. So, you know, this is new for these people.
Right.
So obviously this is new for a lot of the audience that are listening to this. So us talking about it, it doesn't bother me talking about it because this is what we have to put up with for simply having a belief and for simply going out and conducting observations, etc., that they disagree with. They would rather put my family and myself at risk and harass me and threaten me, and this is what they do, and they do it to everybody. So it's an enlightenment for people, to be fair. If this is the first time that they've seen it, you're getting a first-hand experience of it.
And it's only hurting their case.
Rumpus is in chat and he says, Nathan Oakley, you censor all evidence of spherical Earth. You deny science, reality, and evidence.
You know, their actions only hurt their case because
people are coming in here, like new people are watching this, and they come in because they hear it's a debate. They want to hear debating. They want
Placeholder.
to.
Hello.
So Jamal,
So,
they want to hear, what the Globers have to say about their model. They want to hear the actual debate and see proof, and
hmm.
they're
I'm
not getting
wondering.
that.
I'm
They're,
wondering about the rumpus. Is that last time he tried to come on, he said, "Yeah, I'm 2 days. I'm gonna have some new thing," and I guess he didn't do it again. Like
yeah,
he's
like
going for the record
why is
amount of
it
lies
why
and
does it
false
keep
promises.
why does it keep being put on hold? It's just like NASA. Oh, we're gonna go back to the moon in 10 years. Oh, 15 years, 20 years. It's all the same shit. You guys have no actual proof of anything.
I was just saying in the
And,
interval. Sorry, I thought you were finished.
and
Go on.
yeah, I'm pretty much done. But it's like this is what you guys are doing now. Now you got to put people's addresses and shit online. Like that's crazy, guys. Like
Um,
people get effed up for that.
well,
I'm
this
trying not
is
to curse, but that's
well, this is what they
man.
do. This
Like
is what they tried to do with me. This is their way of trying. They realised that I was a threat to them with the evidence that I was doing months and months ago. So this was a big issue for them back then. They went out of their way to find out my address, telephone number, everything you can think of, my family history, everything you can think of. They went around doxing me, telling everybody this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other to try and silence me and stop me from doing this work. Well, do you know what I did? I got my 2 middle fingers and I gave them a big thumbs up to him. And I'm carrying on. So they can do what they want. At the end of the day, nothing's going to stop me. And I don't think nothing's going to stop Nathan or Anthony or Arwin or anybody for that matter, because we're stronger than them.
If anything, it just motivates me more. But I don't understand why the alternative is not pursued. If they think that the children of Flat Earth are being taught lies, why don't they just prove that it's lies? Surely that's the better response, but they can't do it, and that's why they're trying to do anything else. But I just don't understand why GeoStreamer would get involved in it on behalf of Jeremy as a proxy. Why would you do that?
Because he's a creep.
to go to the extent of trying to defend. I mean, I don't know. You have no argument saying that it's not about the children when the thing is called children of the flat earth. I mean, it's just
I tell you where the
common sense,
context
man.
for that conversation would be more acceptable. If there was a journalist from a known newspaper, for example, The Guardian or The Telegraph or whatever, and they were doing it impartially, right? We know that all flat earthers know that it would be done biasly anyway, but at least they would present themselves as neutral, unbiased from the start. But with Jeremy doing it from the start, a Ball Earth protagonist, it means that it can't be unbiased. It can only be biased. And that's, I can't understand why he would even engage that himself. It's ridiculous.
The fact is, web issues and information, especially on children, is a big subject. Normally, you have to have adult consent, the parental consent, to take any information. And the last information anyone should need is really any kind of personal information, pictures. That's if you're doing market study, whatever, businesses and the web, there's a protocol. It's by law. You can't ask people under 16 or even 18 for that matter in many places for any type of information without parental consent. It's the law. You can't gather information without people's permission. Fact is, even here, look, a good parent will be concerned about who's taking pictures of their kids and gawking at them and whatever. Of course you're going to take an interest in that. That's being a good parent. The fact is that there are a lot of basically weird people, and they do use these tools to, basically gather information and, act as the predators they are. There's really no difference between Jeremy trying to extract information about flat earth kids than any other predator would, you know, be doing the same thing if he was a predator. I mean, it's a perfect avenue. But there are laws in place. You have to get parental consent. Any websites that are legitimate, that deal with children, they don't just like, boom, you can come here, you're on. They have a form and a series of clicks that you have to get parental consent. And it's fair. Because again, at least if there's some surveillance, you know what type of information your kids are receiving or what they're trying to extract from. You know, works both ways. People shouldn't really be trying to influence your kids or gather information on them. You know, if it's for selling ice cream and, you know, shoes and runners and stuff, well, maybe but it's done professionally. No regular citizen who's just, a concerned Glober that's worried about the kiddies has any right to use that as a context to illegally gather information on kids. Because it is illegal what he's doing.
Why isn't Gem Panda here justifying his actions?
Because he's a criminal and a coward.
He's either at work and Gio's done it on his behalf, he's asked Gio to do it because he doesn't want to come in, or he can't defend it and he won't say anything. It's one of them three. He might be at work. Mind you, it's Sunday, isn't it? At 3 o'clock, he won't be at work. I don't know why he's not here. I think it's a damning question, a really good question. Why aren't you here, Jeremy? Why are you sending in trolls?
And children.
Yeah, I don't care how you feel about the show, because I know he doesn't come in here at all, but like things like this, I would think somebody would want to come in and explain themselves about.
I'm going to put a challenge out there to somebody in the name of Internet Police who claims he's a real policeman. Join the panel. Let's have a conversation. Let's test your claim. I'll be able to establish whether you're a real policeman or not.
That ought to be funny.
You stop touching your mic. Stop touching your mic.
Oh, sorry.
Have real address to Interpol for email and a real number to, you know, something like that, you know. Or even, what is it, Scotland Yard has the special fraud investigations for the web, and they're big and taking on a lot of this shit, including the child porn and all that stuff. That's Scotland Yard. Nigerian scams, all kinds of stuff they cover.
I just hope Jeremy does the honourable thing and drops this topic quickly.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm kind of getting. I think we need to move on for the rest of this show, if that's all right. I think.
Yeah.
If he's, you know, I mean, there's not much more we can say without any more information, and you know, it only seems like we're just going to say something that we might want to not say.
I agree. All we can do from here is speculate, and let's not do that.
So what can we talk about instead then? The lack of evidence for a spinning ball?
How about the floaty egg being more like a submarine and even a barometer than, you know, what everyone's trying to describe it as, and pressures and forces. And again, no,
Can't do
you
that.
don't want
to. And I
yeah.
got kicked.
Yeah, because again, the cylinder itself that the egg is contained in, force is exerted against it. So it's part of what's going on, you know. But it's like dropping feather and bowling ball. It gets ignored. The air pressure above it is relative too. In a sense, it's a closed system, even though it seems open to you in the room. As your air pressure varies on the surface, it'll affect the egg. The egg has an air sac in it at one side, the big end, or the small end, I forget. But it has an air sac, and the buoyancy in that sac varies with the air pressure above on the surface of the fluid. But these are little issues, eh? It's like ignoring, you know, a falling object like a mic in your fingers. Why is the mic no longer just a body at rest that it was? Why isn't it just potential now? Why does some mysterious force have to be pulling it down from your fingers towards the ground?
Why the directions?
It's not a body at rest anymore.
Why does
Not a direction,
buoyancy go in the directions it does?
Well, if
buoyancy
the
only
shape
goes
of
up
what
and
you were
down.
dropping was different, it might actually move very much
no, no, no.
forward. Yes, you can drop
Why?
a plane.
I'm asking a specific question. Why does it go? Why do density and buoyancy functions in these directions? Why doesn't it go sideways?
Well,
When
part of the
you
force
add
is
salt
going
to the
sideways.
water,
Yes, the
all
part
that.
of the force is exerted on the side
Oh,
of
right.
the container,
Yeah,
and
force
the
is right.
displacement
Yeah.
upward of the water is part of it too.
Yeah, but why does when the relative density and everything changes, why does it go up or down? Why doesn't
Because
it
there
go
is an up and
sideways?
down.
Why doesn't it go sideways?
Probably because there's an up and down, and it
Oh, it
doesn't care
is.
at that point
Yeah,
about
but I'm
sideways.
asking
Sideways
why.
is being
I'm
contained by the sides
asking
of the container.
why. Why
Because
up and down? Why not sideways?
the solution is in a container that prevents sideways motion.
No, that's not
Oh,
what
and it's
happens.
not going
That's
up
not
and
what
down.
happens. If you put it in an aquarium pretty wide and you're going to add salt, it's going to go up or it's going to go down. It's not
It's
going
not
to go
up
sideways.
or down, Arwin. You're using the wrong adjective.
Oh, I
It's
am?
going-
Oh, I
Yeah.
am? No, I'm
It's
not.
going. We perceive a direction. What it's actually doing is equilibralizing. It's getting into its position.
Right,
and then
it's
it moves
all
It's behaving
relative.
more like a submarine.
All relative.
Yes, absolutely
Yeah,
like a
relative.
submarine.
Yeah, it's all
and,
relative
yeah.
until you apply other forces, and then suddenly the actual rotation of the density buoyancy ratio changes. It's no longer up and down.
Where have you got this phrase from? Have you made this up yourself?
It's my way to describe it.
I look at it as a
Describe the
little
effect.
submarine.
Direction. It's all about the direction of the density buoyancy effect.
You know, a submarine in freshwater, you're going to have a lot different buoyancy for the tanks, you know?
Yeah, but
As
still,
opposed to
whatever
salt.
you're going to do with it, if you're going to fill it up with water, or you're going to release air to make it go upward, it will always go up or down until you apply mechanical force from the motor to
Well, the egg has
propel
a
it
ballast.
horizontally, because it's not going to do that from itself just by changing the density and buoyancy within
The
the
egg
entire
has a
container.
ballast. The egg has an air pocket.
Yeah.
It can compress, become smaller, depending on the
Yeah,
pressure
I know,
exerted on the side of it. It's a
I know.
submarine we're talking about.
I know, but when you
Not
change the
a-
density and buoyancy of either the object or the surrounding matter, it's not going to move sideways just by its own volition. It's always going to move up or down. So why? Why does it do that?
I guess there's inverse gravity pulling it up and positive gravity pulling it down at the same time.
No. Those are
There is an up
effects
and
of
down, if you
density
will.
and buoyancy.
Well, there is an up
Nothing
and
to
down
do
in the
with
world.
gravity. Nothing to do with downward acceleration
There's
force.
no up or down in this conversation.
But you never answered the question, and I was really tired out and really pissed off of having to
I did
repeat
answer the
myself
question.
over and
You
over
asked it
again
about
when I
5
was very
times, and I
hungry.
answered it about
But
5
I'm not
times.
now, so I can address it now properly.
Well, don't you owe him an apology, Anthony?
Apology.
Don't you owe Owen an apology? Oh, no, Owen, don't you owe Anthony an apology? My bad.
Yeah, don't you owe me an apology, Ranty?
I think I owe me an apology.
Hold on,
I'm sorry.
hold on.
Everybody owes
Don't
themselves
laugh. Hold on.
We're holding on.
Yeah, for you.
Oh, for me? Yeah, Arwin. Yes, you owe Anthony an apology for kicking him yesterday.
You owe me one.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with you
Yeah,
owing
well,
Anthony. an
I'm
apology.
gonna hold it by that standard in this case.
I think that's reasonable. If Ranty Arwin, then Arwin doesn't have to apologise to me. But it does mean that I owe Arwin what will pay that back, Arwin. You realise that, right?
Just shows your character.
Well, not really.
Yeah, it will.
Yours.
An eye for an eye. All's fair in love and war.
Yeah.
Not the way I'd want things. I'd prefer Ranty just said, "I'm sorry, I kicked you, Owen," but that's just me.
If he will, then I'll apologize to Anthony.
And if he won't, I'll
Promise.
kick Arwin for payment.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
An apology for an apology.
This is hilarious.
So it comes down to Ranty. Ranty has the choice to decide.
I would
Arwin's
just rather show some footage that I caught yesterday when I drove all the way
You
to.
would. I
worm.
know you would. I know
You
would.
worm, yeah.
You're a worm,
This is
Ranty.
a measure of you, Ranty, right now.
That's what ballers do, Ranty.
What? Arwin deserves.
No good answer, right? They change.
I tell you what, I'll give you the choice, Ranty. I'll move on to your imagery if you like. I'll present you, or
Okay.
you can be the bigger person and just apologise.
Go on, Ranty. Say to Arwin, and you have to start with his name as well. Say, Arwin, I'm sorry.
No, don't. No
Don't make
stipulations.
it worse for him.
You can do what he likes. Do you want me to present your screen with you?
Yes, please, Nathan.
Okay, no worries. We'll move
I'm
on.
all right with pouring salt.
No more. Right, what have you got? You're on.
Right, so I drove all the way to North Wales yesterday. So it took me nearly 3 hours to get there and 3 hours to get back. And I went specifically because somebody had said that we needed to get the imagery of the turbines looking directly down the hubs. And the only way we could do that was by getting a drone, etc., etc. So I went to Great Orme because I knew that I'd be able to capture the wind farm there and essentially do exactly as they asked. And this is the video. I'm just going to, I don't hear it, so I'm just going to let it play through. And you can make your own minds up whether or not you see any curvature with these.
Just move your mouse to the right a bit. Just move your mouse a little bit to the right. That's it. And then back again so it doesn't put the bar up. Okay. There we go.
So yeah, so I drove the entire way there to get this footage. Took me all day, basically.
How straight the lines are
That's a
there?
nice render.
Nice render.
Nice render. Just got that. Shout out to Awake Souls.
Look how straight they are.
CGI.
Shut out, retracted.
And vertical from each other. None of them lean away like a fan rake or nothing. And they should.
So specifically for whoever it was that said it, it was just a comment that stuck in my mind. And I thought, I need to somehow address this. And this is what I actually did yesterday.
Hey, it's not real. We can't see seagulls.
Ah, right. Yeah, that's true.
How far away are those?
It does almost look. I've got to be honest. At that intermediary point, as you're zooming out, it does almost look like they're fake. It just.
It does.
I'm not saying
they're just there. They almost look created CGI. I know they're not, but
yeah,
it's just
so real because it looks so fake, right?
No. That's not what I mean. What I mean is they're so alien. You know, when you're close up, you know what a turbine looks like, so you just see it. But as you're zooming out and you're seeing the landscape and you're seeing just how far away they are, and you know when it's transitioning, it kind of is it going to play it again in a second, Ranty? Because I'll get you to pause it the bit that I mean, because there's maybe a couple of 100 frames as you're zooming out. Hopefully you'll be able to catch one and you'll see exactly what I mean.
I know what you're looking for. That's where my camera loses focus, so here we go.
Now. Right, exactly this.
Yeah.
So it just looks so weird. It
actually does look a little bit
like CGI. Hold on.
It doesn't look like it has as much compression as other days.
Hello. Hi, Paul. How you doing? Hello, Paul. Can you hear us? Hello. Earth to Paul. Come in, Paul. Okay, no worries. Carry on, Ranty.
Right, so yeah, there was another point to doing this, and that was when I actually spin the camera around and I'm looking at it's called the Lighthouse, and it's on Great Orme. Now I've seen that from Hoylake, and because I was at an exact height of these turbines here, and they were all lined up perfectly, I know now that the camera is set to 322 feet. So when I panned it to the left on another video, I was literally level with the top of that building, the lighthouse. So I now know that the top of the lighthouse on that cliff is 322 feet at the top, or thereabouts, 320, 325 feet. So the next time that I go and I'm able to capture that lighthouse again from Great Orme, from Hoylake, I'll be able to do some more ball crushing with that, because I think the distance is nearly 30 miles and it's essentially sea level.
You move your mouse?
So, yes, I can, yeah. So
back onto the picture a little bit, just so it gets rid of the scroll.
How's that one?
Cool.
Wow.
Very cool.
Nice.
Move your mouse there. There you go.
That looks crazy.
Really amazing.
It was very, very surreal.
It is
I was with
surreal.
my partner.
That's what I meant.
She
It's
was
weird,
like,
isn't
"This
it?
is something out of the Matrix." She just felt it was just so weird to look at this.
Yeah, it's so alien. That's exactly what I meant. But this is about here and between that and then the one you had it on frozen a second ago. It's just so weird.
Maybe you shouldn't have turned off those filters when you rendered it.
Shame it goes out of focus.
How far that is.
Just before you zoomed back out from that point.
It almost does look like it's being rendered, but yeah, now you're turning camera, so that definitely proves that it's not, of course. But
I've got loads of videos of this stuff. It's not the only thing that I took. I took loads of this. This was yesterday.
Don't be tempted, Ranty, to justify these ludicrous accusations that any of this is in any way CGI. It's utterly ludicrous.
But I think it's a really funny running joke, though.
Yeah, but it bugs me, Arwen, because we're at the point where we're starting to explain some of these images. So as opposed to us shying away from stuff because they say, "Oh, look, the bottom's going, therefore proves globe," we go, "Well, now we're actually explaining how this works with Aries diffraction, with limits of angular resolution, with angle of view, all of these different things that we're actually using to explain what's occurring." We're being told, "Oh, well, it's CGI." And you're like, no, don't demean what we're doing. We're actually making progress and figuring out what's actually occurring.
All right.
Well, in a sense, the digital photography and stuff with the sensors does tend to make some shots look artificial. But that's the nature of the chips and the mechanics and whatever, you know. It's just a kind of like analog to digital music, you know. It sounds almost clinical. Well, photos that are made on these digital sensors can sometimes have kind of an effect where they don't look natural because they aren't.
James talking?
It has to do with autofocus, contrasting effects to compensate for overlighting, all that stuff. There is some interactive, there's some interactive programs that will have some effect on the images, just like there are some mobiles that when you make photos with them, they will like make the colors jump out more. That's also an overlaying effect on the real life photo. It's digital enhancement, you could call it.
What's interesting though on this is that if you look at the line of the hubs, they're not matching up anything with the horizon. You know, they're not curving down towards the horizon like you would expect.
Now, what was the observer height here?
Well, I'm dead level with these hubs. So these hubs are 322 feet high. So I'm assuming that the camera right now is at 322 feet because I got into a perfect line with them.
Hold on. No. You can't just say that because you're in a line with them then you are at their height. No, that's...
Okay.
You're going to get ripped a new one if I don't point this out, so sorry.
Okay, then go on then.
Well, what you need to establish what your height was a bit more accurately than to say that I am level with them.
Well, it's hard because you're on a windy cliff that goes up, so there's no accurate data on Google Earth that can do that. You know, it's a 30-meter discrepancy.
Sure, but I don't. Even if you give it us within a 30-meter range either way.
Well, I can give it you probably within a 20 feet either way.
That's
and
fine.
Say that if these are actually lined up all, and they're all at 322 feet to the hub, and they're actually in the water, that is water level. We know that that hub is 322 feet above the water. If I'm level with these, then I'm assuming, probably quite rightly, that I am actually at 322 feet.
What distance are those for you, Ranty?
Sorry?
What distance are those from you, yes?
10 miles.
I've got to say it again, I don't accept that explanation. I'm really sorry, Ranty.
Okay, why would you assume? Why would you disagree that if I put a line through these and it was directly towards me, that it wouldn't be me being at 322 feet too? If I go back through the video, right? Let's find these turbines here, and I know all these are at 322 feet and they're nicely at a line. Why wouldn't I be at 322 feet tall too?
I'm not disputing your logical deduction. I'm just saying that doesn't ascertain your height. Sorry.
Okay. Because I went above these and I was able to look down on them, and I went lower down and I was able to look up at them. The only way that I was able to get them all in a straight line focused with the center of the camera was at this location.
Okay. I mean, I would argue to get them lined up, which to my eyeballs they're not, you would have to be angling your camera down in line with them. Now, that isn't to say that that's what you have done, but it still doesn't establish your height. That's part of the debate. In any event, excellent imagery. I absolutely love it.
How far away are these? Like the furthest windmills? How far away are they supposed to be from your location?
10 miles, you said?
Yeah, I can kind of show you on it. I've been, I did a lot of, there's a lot of stuff seen through the wind turbines too, and I'm trying to identify individual buildings and such. This is what all these lines are. But this is me looking from this place here. Put a line in just so that you can see. I'll just do a rough line. This is the road. There's a road that comes down here. So along this stretch of road here. So if I put just a line in there and just give you an idea of distances to the turbines, which are these ones here. So we're looking at, so the nearest one, 8 miles essentially, and to the furthest of the first set, 11 miles. We've got plenty of imagery of the other ones in the background, which are these ones here. Distance of, what, 19 miles?
Wow.
And I've got land behind, I've got buildings, I've got things that I've been able to see at very long distances. I've still got to figure everything out.
Ranty, can you show where you were taking this from?
Yeah, I've just put it there now.
No, I wasn't watching, I was doing something else.
But I'm pretty sure that I've got quite a lot of this mapped out, this area here, which is 36 miles away. Now, I know that I'm an elevation of about 322 feet. So if I say I'm at an elevation of 340, I don't think anybody's going to really argue.
So out of interest, I can't see it at this distance. What's it say in the bottom right hand corner? If you place your pin on where you were standing, roughly, what does Google give it as?
Right. Well, let me just show you from here for now, and I'll go back.
Okay. Thanks.
It's 36.3 miles essentially. So it's like there should be 100 feet of this missing, but I'm seeing things like there's a lighthouse. Where's this lighthouse? It's here. There's a lighthouse that I've seen in the imagery, which is actually at sea level. So there's no doubt that we're seeing much further than we should do. I'll just clear that off anyway. And
Ranty, before you turn it off, show us where you were.
Yeah, I'm going now. Going back now. It's a great home. Oh, I caught Blackpool Tower as well. I went to Hoy Lake as well.
Oh, right. So you were at Llandudno?
Yeah, I went to Llandudno. Yeah, great home.
And did you capture Blackpool Tower from there?
No, it says 118 meters, Nath.
118 meters.
That's what it says. Yeah.
So what's 118 meters in feet?
Roughly about
390?
300.
Oh,
Yeah,
give me a second.
390.
Give me a sec. 387.14. Okay.
Yeah, and the hubs of those the wind farms were at 322 feet. So if I was actually at 70 feet higher than that, I would have been looking down on the first one, so they wouldn't have been in line. Yeah,
that's what I suspected you'd need to be doing to get that, but you've got to establish your height with a secondary source. I'm not saying for all the arguments that the Globeheads gave that that's accurate, but it's a useful guide. Mm-hmm. It doesn't demean anything that you've just done. It's just, just say, well, because it looks thus, therefore I'm at that height, and nah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm happy now. Thank you very much. I'm content.
So there we go. So yeah, I went to Hoy Lake as well, and I saw Blackpool Tower during the day. It was tricky conditions though, really tricky. I've seen all of these wind turbines. I've panned around, caught every single one of these, so everything's in view. There's obviously a limit to the camera. I'm waiting for the P1000 now. Get the P1000, boys, and let's see how far we can see with that. The imagery as well. I can show you some of the images. Let's get.
Do you want to talk about your P900 once you're done, if you can remind me?
Which one am I going for? Just need to find something where I've got the background. Oh, here we are.
How much more powerful is the 1000 again?
We'll come to that.
900?
Just let Ranty round out with some of his pictures, and then we'll discuss his camera.
All right.
Yeah, so if we look at this, for instance, like this is we're looking at a distance here of at least 30 miles. So you can see that, yes, you can identify there's some houses here and such like, but you can't see the clarity of it. Now, the P1000 is got 125 zoom as opposed to 83, which is what the P900 is, but it also does it in 4K. So like, if we look at these buildings here, so when we scroll in here, we're clearly seeing buildings and stuff, but you can't really make much out. So I'm hoping that obviously the P1000 is going to have much more clarity with this. Now, we can see that there's a house there with a blue roof, or something there with a blue roof, but you can't identify it really quickly.
So what you're saying is you've done this to set the standard, and you want to go back with the P1000 to see what the difference is.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also this building here. It looks like it's a castle ruins somewhere. I'm still not identified it.
I still can't get over these shots. These are glorious.
Look at this. I mean, it looks like it's some kind of castle or castle ruins. Obviously, we're seeing down to the beach. This is the beach. This is the houses behind the beach. But we can't see it. The camera is only so good. It's a Nikon. It's a P900. The P1000 is going to be infinitely better than this. The clarity is going to be infinitely greater. I mean, I can't wait to get my hands on it and see what it can.
Ranty, what
show.
part of town are you looking at there? This is from Great Orme, right?
This is from Great Orme. Yeah, this is looking over.
What is it you're looking at?
At this point, I believe I'm looking somewhere in this location. I'm still trying to find the buildings. Somewhere in West Kirby, there's some buildings over here.
We'll go back to the picture, because West Kirby is... just go back to the picture. Let's have a look. Because what you're saying is you're looking around that peninsula of Hoy Lake.
No, well, this isn't really Hoy Lake, is it?
Well, if it's West Kirby, just go to the left of the picture, because wouldn't you see round the corner?
What do you mean? Like, I can go scroll back because I've been panning across from left to right, you see. So there's what I would say is the castle ruins to the right.
Right, so on that hill there then, is there an observatory on the hill, like a big Jodrell Bank kind of thing?
Let's see, I'll scan through them. There's let's go back some and see. I don't know. It's hard to make out any features.
Looks like they could have had a nunnery up there somewhere.
My intention.
What's that big tall white thing?
Where?
Radio towers, probably.
Go right.
This.
What's that there?
I don't know. That looks like it's a church. That definitely looks like a church with a steeple. I don't know what that is.
That should be easy to find.
Yeah, well, by all means, fire away.
Knock yourself out, Anthony.
have fun. But imagine with the P1000 or what the clarity of this is going to be. Obviously, you'll be able to zoom in much easier, and you'll have it in 4K resolution. So
a couple of people asked yesterday about your camera, and they're like, "Well, has he ordered it? What's he doing?" Hi, Sean. You a troll? I think you are.
Hello, guy. How you doing?
Oh, no, not a troll.
No, I'm not a troll. I'm not a troll.
Good to have you, Sean. And I explained to them, Ranty, that basically once the GoFundMe money hits your account, which will be on Thursday, I believe.
The 9th, yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
Brilliant. As soon as that happens, you'll order it. Simple as that, really.
That's true.
Hey, Sean.
Yes, mate.
See you again.
Say again?
How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Cool.
Oh, I think it's amazing in some of these shots. You can even see like church steeples and stuff. With the other camera, you might see the cross on the steeple or something.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
Pretty incredible. It's just going to get better.
But these buildings, I mean, I'm able to identify these buildings, but
yeah, that's the Anglican Cathedral in Liverpool, isn't it? That there. Just zoom back in, Ranty.
I'll just make it big on the audience view.
Oh yeah, that's Liverpool. That's where the
Did you hear that? Did you? That's Liverpool. He was all excited and Liverpudlian.
that is Liverpool City. No, that's Canning House, isn't it? Headquarters. That look like police headquarters to you? Yeah, it does look tall. You're looking at Liverpool in the background.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. We're seeing for much further than we should be able to. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, where's the curve? Where's that glorious curve?
Yeah, I'm looking for the curve on the water. I'm not actually seeing it, so I'm looking down at the water.
That particular picture, make a note of its number because I want you to send me that.
Yeah, you can have them all, mate, and try and find everything out if you want.
Yeah, and Liverpool's still my team for football.
Yay!
Well, yeah, I was going to say there's actually land behind in between the turbines too. So as I come through,
and you may actually be able to see Anfield Stadium as well, Ranty, because it's sat on quite a high part. So you look for a football stadium.
I think this is in the. Hang on, where's this? Let me just see where that is. It's between the first two turbines. So
while you're doing that, do you mind if I just mention something about your camera that doesn't concern me, but you know, if you're going to be videotaping in 4K, because that's essentially where you've had the most success when you video it and then take stills out of it after the fact, which is, you know, obviously not what we're doing now. These are stills. But obviously the concern there is that you're then taking up 4 times as much data on the cards. So in order to, you know, because there's a temptation if you run out of memory to just go, oh damn it, I'll just do it in 1080, rather than consistently using the 4K function, which is where I think it will actually yield the better quality.
I think it will, but only if he doesn't zoom all the way in.
Oh yeah, agreed.
What I think you should do, Ranny, especially if you're doing long distance like that with the 1000, then you want to be not using all of the digital, and then when you put it into, especially if you're doing images, just use your crop to crop it down, see what you get.
Right. Yeah, I will do. Thanks.
Ranty, could you drop us that picture in Skype?
Yeah.
So I can have a look at it.
Just show the audience what these 2 buildings are here.
Forget the audience. Me.
Hang on. these 2 buildings here that I've been able to triangulate, and this building here, which is really great. It's like it's obvious what it is because it's got loads of white fascias on the front, and it's nice and square, and it's in the exact position that you need it to be, and that's evidenced in the imagery. So let me just bring that up. So between the 2 turbines, here we have. There's the 2 buildings. 1 building, 2 building, and there's the Costa. So there's the Costa white building going across with the P1000. I'm hoping that I'll be able to read the wording and for it to say Costa. But yeah,
that looks like it's the Echo. To be honest, Ranty, that looks like it's the Echo Arena.
What's that? No, it's it be what you like, but it's actually to the exact degree to these.
Well, just zoom out a little bit in there. I'm not sure it's that. Look up a little bit.
Anthony, it has to be.
Yeah, but look in the background.
Yeah.
You've got the King's Docks there. Or maybe it's not.
No.
It looked like... It's all right. I thought it looked like it was the Echo Arena because of its shape.
But,
okay.
So anyway, yeah, I am still going out and doing stuff with the P900. We've got a baseline now. So the next time I go back to Great Orme with P1000, get in the same spot, film the same stuff, and hopefully we'll have better clarity.
So a couple of things then. So are you intending to get a stonking enormous memory card so you can record everything in 4K? And also, once you've told us that, can you tell us about what your plans are for your P900?
P900 is going to get opened up. I'm going to take out the filter that's inside it that's stopping me actually filming in infrared. I've already bought the actual infrared filters that I can put on the outside of it, so I'll be able to see with it in sort of like really bright sunshine and as far down as cloudy. I think I've got it up to, I forget what they're called now. Is it 920 or 940 or something infrared? I think they've got different labels. Anyway, I've got 4 of them. So that's ready to go on the P900 when I adapt that and modify it. So I'll be able to see an infrared. And the P1000, at the moment, I've got enough to buy the P1000, a 32 gig memory card.
Tripod.
No, not the tripod. Hang on, wait a minute. The 32 gig memory card. What else am I getting? Oh, an extra battery.
Is 32 gig big? I mean, is the bigger?
Hang on, let me just see what
the 64 is the biggest.
That's I mean, things like a...
Yeah, I can only see 32.
Is that the biggest?
You just got to get another one, second one.
Oh, but that's
There are
rubbish.
bigger SD cards, but the thing is, the camera, if it's programming, can't see the extra memory. It don't matter if you have a 64 gig SD; it'll only see 32.
That
Oh
is true.
right, so
In
32 is
format
probably
32.
so that's potentially the limit. Well, that kind of draws a line under that. Then I mean, things like the tripod. You know, yeah, obviously you're going to need a tripod that's a bit
Tripods
better.
can get ridiculously expensive, though. I mean,
Yeah,
I
they
was
do.
thinking of getting the remote control for the actual P1000, so I'm not actually physically touching it and shaking it when it's zooming in. So if I need to take an image or something, instead of me, whenever I click the button, it'll be remotely, so it won't be shaking. So
Fluid head. Get yourself a fluid head.
What's that?
Oh, what?
Tell us what a fluid head is.
Basically, Manfrotto do them. They're a bit like a ball head, but they're a lot smoother. They have oil inside them.
Yeah, they got oil dampers in them, haven't they, to make it so that you don't make big jerks.
Yeah, they're like
I mean,
a image stabilization, I suppose.
I've also seen motorized
Oh, yeah.
mounts that you can, again, it would mean having a second remote control, and they're several $100s from the adverts I've seen, but you literally have a remote control that would pan and tilt your camera on its tripod.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
like
attach one of these little disc things with a motor in it. It's got a Bluetooth controller, and you can either set it on a timer, so it just does it and gives you a nice panning sweep shot. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure people who are into photography know there's dozens of these little tracks and various things you can buy, but that for me would be probably the most appropriate toy. But initially, you know, he's got the camera, that's the main thing. He can stick it on the sand initially, but, you know, it's getting the camera really that matters. And, you know, I'm sure everyone's keen to see your progression, Ranty. Hopefully you'll keep everyone updated in that regard.
Well, yeah, I mean, my plan is to do. I do plan every single day to do a 30-minute live stream, and it might be about 7 o'clock UK time, and it will literally just be to show you the footage that I've captured during that day. So obviously, if it's been peeing down and you can't see anything, I'll still do a show, but obviously it won't be showing much because you can't film when it's raining, you won't see anything. But I'll be trying to keep people updated with it. And we'll see what happens, see what we can capture. And I want to use the P1000 when we go to do that experiment, not experiment, we'll test, should we say, up in the lakes. Because I feel that over a 3-mile distance, the P1000 will absolutely just blow it away.
Ranty, send us that picture.
You want this picture? Can you see these cranes here? Do you know what? I think they're cranes, like the big, massive cranes on the docks.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Hasta luego.
See you later. But you see, there's all this land behind here.
Yeah. Bye.
This land can only be all this land over here. You know, Crosby and the docks here. I mean, just looking forward to getting my P1000 now. And yeah. What?
Send it.
You want the image right now?
You got Riley
literally
cracked out for this picture right now.
I'm looking at it on low res on my screen, and I want to see the actual picture because I want to be able to see if I'm picking out what I think I'm picking out.
Okay.
I'm just being selfish, I know, but
right, I will send you the images right now.
No, just that one, because if you send me too many, it's too much.
I've got a good chat question from Nathan Moakley or Monkley. Do you have a 4K TV, Ranty?
No, I'm going to get one. I was going to get one. I bought a telly about 2 months ago, and then I realised when I picked it up and I paid for it and I got it home, it was only a 720p. So 2 weeks later, I went out and I bought a 1080. And now I'm going to have to go out and get a 4K. So
well, not necessarily. I mean, having 4K is great. Don't get me wrong; it's lovely to be able to present an image that's 4K in 4K. But that isn't necessarily the purpose that you'll find it useful for. I've forgotten your name. Is it Sean? Sean, yes, yeah, Sean pointed this out or alluded to this at the least, which is to say that if you've got 4 times the real estate, it's when you start cropping it. So you can crop it by a factor of 4, and you'll still have the same resolution as you were getting out of your 1080p camera, and that's where you get the big gains, which is why it's so critical to film everything in 4K.
It'll be a lot sharper.
Absolutely.
Sharper.
Okay. Well, it's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna have to be saving up for the tripod though, so probably be freehand for a bit. But still, that's the nature of having to get down and do the filming that I do, which is running from the tide. I don't think I'll be able to carry a big tripod around that.
No, it don't have to be big, mate.
Yeah, I broke my little one. That little.
Yeah, don't get them.
I've broke 3 tripods in the last 6 months running from the tide and getting away. So
I've looked at tripods a few times and I just like them. I don't know what it is about tripods, but they do fascinate me, sad as that may sound. But can you recommend some, Sean?
Manfrotto is a good one.
Yeah, Manfrotto.
That's pretty much a go-to for pretty much every photographer.
Yeah, indeed.
And they do so many add-ons for them as well.
I mean, a nice, even if it was carbon fibre Manfrotto, like lightweight, portable. I don't know if it's got a fluid head. That's a new one on me.
Yeah, like you said, even the standard aluminium ones, they are such good quality and they're robust as hell.
Yeah, and they're about, I think, between 80 and 150 pounds for an aluminium one from Manfrotto.
Yeah,
and, you know, they're not. It's not horrendous, is my point. But I don't know about the fluid head bit. And from experience, they don't come with the head anyway. So you tend to buy the head separately.
Having a more massive or heavy tripod can be a big advantage too. Aluminum is light, and even wind and stuff kind of blows it around. When you're extreme zoom, you really have to have a stable camera, because vibration, wow, over a distance like that, it's just incredible. Heavier is better for a tripod. It's sturdy and well weighted.
The other option with tripods, Ranty, and this is where I look, is to trawl through eBay, because there are a lot of semi-keen photographers that will go out and buy an absolutely glorious carbon fibre tripod and head and then get bored of it, and they'll stick it on, and you'll find some that are about half the price because they've not got a box, but they're ultimately, you know, basically unused in perfect condition for half the money. But that would be my port of call. I'd probably just buy one on eBay. That's certainly where I've looked when I've been tempted to buy one, although I've never had the cash to actually invest in a decent tripod.
I'll look into it. I will look into it.
Hey, one thing I'm going to get, a gimbal. I've asked it for a birthday present because my birthday's coming up. So I've asked my mother and wife to contribute together and club together to get me a gimbal for my iPhone, because that's predominantly what I film on if I'm out and about. And yeah, I'd love to have actually steady cam footage as opposed to me holding the camera phone really shaky. But the quality of camera phones these days is excellent for doing things like video logs or, you know, just casual videos. Obviously not the type of thing you're doing, Ranty, but it's major flaw is that. Say again.
They make a huge difference when you use them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've
more enjoyable to watch.
Definitely. Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping to get, a gimbal for my phone. So if I do vlogs or anything out and about, it'll be hopefully a lot better from now on.
Let me just mention something to the haters. Just bear in mind that those that don't agree with Ranty and the P1000, just compare and contrast it to 2 purchases that were asked for GoFundMe on the ballers side. One was a funeral, and the other one was an insurance policy for a car, because the guy made a mistake in the first instance when he got the policy. Apparently, he accidentally didn't do something he should have done, so he set up a GoFundMe for a replacement car insurance. I mean, go figure.
Well, I also want to say this again, and before the narrative sets, because what will happen is the ballers always tend to twist things, and they call me an e-beggar and this, that, and the other. Now, for the last 3 weeks before I did the GoFundMe, there was a campaign going on in the side chat with people asking me to set up a GoFundMe because they wanted to buy me a P1000. Now, I just want to make another thing clear, that I never actually talked about or spoke about or even referenced or even hinted at that I would like a P1000. This is what the people in the chat, the community, people that subscribe to me and people that subscribe to Nathan wanted to do. They wanted to see me with a P1000 doing the work that I do, and they wanted to see that, and they had money to spare, and they were willing to give it to me so that I could go and buy a P1000 because that's what they wanted.
I absolutely concur. So I, for a month, was telling Ranty to sell his P900 as quickly as possible, get it on eBay, get it sold, because I was trying to convince him to buy a P1000, and he kept saying the same thing. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. And I was like, but I want you to have that camera. That was my attitude towards it. So I was putting pressure on Ranty, and I was saying to him, I want you to do a GoFundMe. Do a GoFundMe. And he was like, a few people have mentioned it. I was like, well, do it then, and I'll promote it. So, you know, if anybody's going to be criticised for e-begging, I'm more than happy to shoulder that and say, yeah, I'm more than happy to say that, yes, we e-begged to get Ranty a camera because he couldn't afford one. And there is no shame in that on my part whatsoever. I'm eternally grateful to everybody who contributed and took part in the Ranty-a-thon, regardless of whether or not they contributed, because it was jolly good fun.
Me too. I'm absolutely blown away with the support that we got. I'm astounded that we reached it within 24 hours. As far as I know, I don't think there's anybody else that's asked or been GoFunded for a P1000. I know that there was a flat earther that had a P900. He got a P900. Who was that, Nathan?
What, Eric Dubay?
Eric Dubay, yeah. He did a GoFundMe to get a P900, if I remember rightly, and he did one video of the stars or something, and that was it. So I don't think there's anybody else on Flat Earth that's had a GoFundMe and actually had the community rally around and hand money to people to go and get this particular item. So I am extremely grateful, very humbled by the response.
To be honest, one's got to be given a shout out to Ruhif, because although I don't agree with anything that Ruhif does on this one occasion, I believe he donated 400 pounds, Great British pounds, to the cause. I don't know why he did that, but shout out to Ruhif. Still an idiot, but thank you.
Absolutely.
You know, I think based on just merit, you know, Ranty's gone out on a lot of stuff, produces and good stuff. And the way I see it, with better equipment, we're going to see a lot more produced and better stuff. So, you know, it's overall the only real problem is in the end for Globers, because, you know, it just gives more material that tries to show them just how wrong they are about curve and bendy water and a few other, you know, visual things. So
maybe the Globers think, the ones that contributed to Ranty, maybe they think that Ranty is actually proving the globe. Maybe that's why Ruhif would, you know, contribute. Why would you contribute that much to somebody who's proving something that you don't believe in?
Because they enjoy what Ranty does. You know, I know, I can't remember who it was, but somebody in the chat said, oh, there must be at least 40 Globers here, and at the time there was 240 people in the chat. There's 220 now. But I would imagine that it's more like 50-50. In other words, there's an equal number of Flat Earthers and Globers that watch this show. Now, I might be wrong about that, but, you know, that would be my assumption. Based on the comments and the feedback in the chat afterwards, I think it's probably an equal number. So I would assume from that people equally enjoy it on both sides of the debate.
And it is a thing he takes passionately, and I always like when someone who takes something passionately gets to experience it and live out their passion. This is a reasonable one, you know. It's not hurting no one.
No. Awesome. And I don't see any problem with it, because it's not like he's just going to take the pictures and keep it to himself. I mean, he's online every day showing these pictures, you know, showing his footage, showing the database. So more props to you, Ranty.
Yeah, I agree, Ranty. Stop feeling that you got to explain yourself to them. People donate it because they want to donate. You don't have to keep saying, "Oh well, this is why they donate." Just forget them.
Yeah, and the fact is, it really isn't a lot of money, because the camera will be good for 2, 3, 4 years doing this stuff. It's very little if you calculate it in the long term. Nothing. It's really not a big issue. No one got their arms twisted or, you know, thugged into donating or giving. You know, it's just, you know, those who could and wanted to and did. You know, no one, you know. It's fair. There's nothing wrong with it done, really. You know, it's just the guy's got a better camera now, and he's gonna go do stuff that probably will help put the globe to bed in a bunch of people's minds. I don't know.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
I don't think there's any hope in it. I think it's going to full stop.
Well, I intend to. I've got a few experiments that or tests that I want to do. Definitely. I want to see what this camera can do, and I'm going to put it to the limits. And if I can find nice locations to go to, places that I feel are adequate to do those kind of experiments and tests, I'll do it.
Hello, Peanuts.
Hey,
Peanuts.
what's going on?
What up, dude?
How y'all doing?
Very well.
Yeah.
Good, good. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for another good show, and I wanted to let Ranty know that every phone call you get, every harassment you get, I mean, I don't really know what you can do. Just document it, you know, just if you can. Don't let it take too much out of your life. But I want to let you know that for every one harassment you get, you got 10 people out here who really appreciate what you do. And I can't wait to see your new footage. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your life, you know, to go out and take these pictures. 3 hours driving somewhere to take footage. That's a long time. And I don't really see a lot of other people doing that, dedicated like that. So I just wanted to tell you thank you before y'all run it out the show.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Made me feel. I felt that.
I just want you to know that there's people out here that really care.
And if a tripod really is going to benefit the photographs you take and the videos you take, do another GoFundMe.
F the haters. I'll have one if they don't like it.
Well,
I would estimate that if Ranty did a GoFundMe for a tripod, it would probably get 10 times the amount of. It'd probably get 10 times the amount of donations because there's probably more people keen to have you have a tripod than a camera.
The camera.
Oh, Randy, when you do take the photos and your video, make sure you put the camera in RAW.
Oh right, okay. Does it film in RAW?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Right, awesome.
I was able to catch about half of the first show today, and all I would say is that shows to me that we're winning. That's all I'll say about that.
There's a couple of people just mentioned in the chat that they would donate towards a tripod. Well, my original GoFundMe is still open actually, so it's still accepting donations. So if you do feel that you want to put towards getting a tripod, then
Nathan, drop the link.
Follow that. Just follow that, and I'll get a tripod too.
No worries, I'll put a link in the info box to your GoFundMe. So between now and when you order the camera on hopefully Thursday of this week, you never know, people might chuck you a couple more quid to get a tripod as well.
Right. Okay.
Couple of quid. Look how much he's got now. It's amazing.
We worked it out after the fees, and it was about 1,100 quid, you know, after the GoFundMe fees. And yeah, that's why he's saying camera and potentially a memory card as well with the money that's been donated, which is astonishing, really. But there we go.
Just goes to show you've got support, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
I think that might be a nice opportunity for me to round out this show. So I will say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you have not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!